Well, excuse me today. I have a bit of a sinus today, so hopefully I'll make it through this quickly. Just had to post a bit of a video today about standing up, about taking a stand. So I want to encourage you today to take a stand. In our day and age, you can be aware of everything that goes on throughout the world. You've got all kinds of news and social media all over the internet, to your phone, on your hip, to your tablet that's in front of you, to your laptop or your desktop computer. It's everywhere. It's on the television. Watch the news. You can hear about the travesties that are going on around the world instantly and be aware more than any other time in history. But unfortunately, a lot of times we've taken awareness as being what's important. Awareness is only a step. Being aware of the great travesties that go on in our world is a step that should allow you to stand. It's more important that you stand for something, that you stand up in the face of great evil, than just to be aware of it. And so I want to challenge you to be somebody who stands. I'm tired of just being aware of things. I want to stand. I want to stand up and do what I can to help protect those who are at risk, those who are being oppressed, those who are being terrorized, those who are being slaughtered and seem to be helpless about it. I blogged about it recently on the Hitman blog, and encourage you, if you want to read it more in detail, that you go there. I won't repeat that all here. You can read it. But I'll post a link in the comments or notes on this video on YouTube. So I'll just summarize briefly. Those of you who are watching this right now or consider yourself Christians, more than anyone else, we need to take a stand. Not in maybe the way you're thinking of, not to stand up and to protest, to stand up and to try and make some awareness of Christianity. Sure, promote your faith and talk about the gospel, and that's good. It's not a bad thing to do at all. But when I'm talking about taking a stand today, I'm talking about taking a stand to protect, to help those who do not have the ability to help themselves, or those who are at risk. So what I'm talking about is, if you find yourself in a situation where you can protect somebody else, maybe you don't even know them. You don't know, are they a Christian, aren't they? Maybe you know for sure. Maybe they're Muslim. Maybe they're Buddhist. Maybe they're atheist. Think about it. As a Christian, do you know where you're going? Well, if you're a Christian, you should know where you're going. If you know the truth of the gospel, if you know Jesus, you know where you're going to end up should you die. The scriptures talk about, more than one place that talk about, if God is for me, what can man do to me? We trust in God. Therefore, if you can prevent the slaughter, the oppression, the killing, the terror against somebody else, you're living out the love of Christ when you do that. And if you die, you know where you'll be. But if you give the other person or people another day here where they can hear about the hope of the gospel, isn't that all worth it? And if you survive and you get to share with them why you did what you did, isn't that an opportunity for the gospel? Obviously, that's an extreme situation. So let's get more day to day for most of you. Are you praying? Are you praying for the people around our world today, whether they're in Nigeria or Syria or Iraq or France or the United States or Canada or Australia or Britain or you name it around the globe, that are being taken hostage, that are being killed? Are you praying for people in those situations? Are you praying for their families that are now left behind in mourning? Are you praying that those who are committing such horrific acts would come to know Jesus and would stop this senseless violence that is driven by such an extreme I won't even say religion. Such just an extreme messed up concept that even those who would say they're of the same religion are not good enough for them, and they get killed, slaughtered. We, the ones who know the truth, we have the responsibility to stand up. Start by praying. Start by showing your outrage at what is happening. Now, don't turn it in the wrong place. It's not outrage against everybody who thinks differently than us. That puts us in the same boat. It is outrage that people would be so extremely intolerant that they would do these sorts of things. So don't turn to being anti everything else and finding yourself in the same boat. Don't do it. That's not who we're to be as Christians. Yes, we know the truth. We hold to our truth. We don't just accept everything. But we don't persecute everybody else because they believe differently. We want to love them and share the truth of the gospel with them. That's what we need to do. So show your outrage when you hear a group of Muslims get slaughtered by terrorists. Show your outrage. That's not acceptable. And so support those who are mourning. Try and encourage them and show love to them. Feel free to lobby the government about stricter laws for those who are affiliated with terrorist groups. It should be considered a crime in the highest order. Not only the people who are the supposed trigger men or the bombers. Anyone affiliated with such groups needs to be prosecuted to the highest extent of the law in your nation, whatever that is. If that's capital punishment, I'm okay with that. If your nation's okay with that. If that's lifetime imprisonment, hey, I'm okay with that if that's the way your system works. If it's even the whole, we're going to basically send them off to a country that will accept them and throw away their passports and other documents, whatever it is, it needs to be as harsh as can be, because this is unacceptable behavior. And if, if you have other ideas, maybe you're going to come up with ideas I don't have, that's fine. But do something. Don't be one who is found guilty of being what I call a passive accessory to the crime. So a passive accessory to the crime is not one who's involved in planning or carrying out the crime, but one who is aware of the crime, who sees the crime, who knows of the crime, yet does nothing. Does nothing. Is there not guilt in that? In being the one who would stand idly by as a passive accessory to the crime? And I don't believe that's who we're to be. But each of you must decide. You have to decide for you your conviction and how you are to stand. How you are to stand up for those who are at risk. And so whether it is this issue of terrorism, whether it's an issue of human trafficking, whether it's issues of great poverty or other forms of abuse and oppression, rape culture, or all these sort of horrible things going on in our world, you need to take a stand against these things. And the things that are on your heart to take a stand against, you need to do that. You need to take a stand. You need to stand up. That's who we are to be. Not that that is our only focus as Christians. Actually, our primary focus is the gospel. But how can we talk about this hope we find in Christ if we don't have the backbone to stand up for those who are at risk? So like I say, you each have to make your own decision. You have to make your decision on what you're going to do. But I cannot, in good conscience, be someone who would sit by and do nothing. So hope you have a great day today. Just for information's sake, like I said, I'll be posting the link to the blog that I wrote about that if you want to read up on it. If you have comments, feel free to share them. But we'll be starting our series coming up quick on Galatians. And so if you want to be a part of that, that'll be coming up in video and on blog pretty quick here. Have a great day, and I pray that each one of you will be someone who takes a stand.